All right, you ready to swap out the usual for a pair of boat shoes? We are diving deep, deep into the world of shipbroking.
That's right.
And not just dipping our toes in the water.
Right.
We're going full deep dive on what it really takes to make it in this pretty intense career, I have to say.
Yeah, it's a fascinating one. We've got some great guides here from RoleCatcher,
Oh, yeah?
a platform that knows a thing or two about landing that dream job.
They do, they do.
So if you're picturing, that swanky office phone glued to your ear
Yeah.
as you're closing these million-dollar deals, I mean, you're not far off.
Right.
But there's a lot more to it than meets the eye.
More than just fancy lunches and a corner office view, right?
Yeah.
I mean, these RoleCatcher guides, they made one thing very clear. This is not a job for the easily intimidated.
No, they really emphasize that high-pressure, fast-paced environment.
Right.
But they don't just say that. They give you concrete examples.
Okay.
Imagine you're negotiating a deal, right, for a tanker full of liquefied natural gas.
Wow.
The market, it's volatile, millions are on the line. That's the kind of pressure a shipbroker they thrive under.
Yeah, that's a level of intensity you don't find in your average 9 to 5, that's for sure.
No.
It makes you wonder what kind of person thrives in that kind of environment? Like, what does it actually take to become a shipbroker?
Well, RoleCatcher outlines a few paths you can take.
Okay.
You might start at an entry level, maybe assisting some senior brokers.
Right.
Think research, maybe administrative tasks.
Hmm?
Learning the ropes from the ground up.
Right. Okay, so while a degree in, like, maritime studies or business could be a good foundation,
Sure.
it seems like real-world experience, that's king in this field.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And networking, you're not just dealing with ships, you're dealing with people.
Yeah.
Clients, shipping companies, everyone involved in that global dance of cargo.
Speaking of cargo, can we break down some of the lingo here? I think
Yeah.
I understand the gist, but what exactly are we talking about when we say, chartering a vessel?
So chartering, it's basically, it's like renting a whole ship.
Okay.
You're securing its use for a specific period, a specific purpose, whether that's, hauling crude oil across the ocean or transporting grain from one continent to another, you name it.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So a shipbroker is the one who makes those deals happen.
Mm.
They need to understand the needs of the client,
Of course.
the capabilities of the ship, the
Right.
intricacies of the entire global shipping market.
Exactly. They need to have their finger on the pulse of everything.
Wow.
From supply and demand, all that kind of stuff, to geopolitical situations, things that could impact, shipping routes or commodity prices.
Right.
It's a lot to juggle.
Yeah.
And we haven't even gotten into the negotiation skills required to actually get the best deals for their clients.
Right. Right. Because negotiating in any field is tough.
Oh, yeah.
But I imagine in shipbroking, where deals can be worth, millions, tens of millions of dollars, those skills are absolutely crucial.
Oh, absolutely.
So what kind of, negotiating tactics do shipbrokers use? Are we talking, play hardball, or is it more about building relationships?
It's fascinating. It's a blend of both.
Okay.
Obviously, you need those sharp negotiating skills to secure, favorable terms for your client.
Right.
But burning bridges, that's a no-go. That can be disastrous in this business.
Right. It's a global industry, but it's also a surprisingly close-knit community.
It is.
Uh,
It is.
so-
Word gets around.
Absolutely. Yeah. Successful shipbrokers, they're often the ones who can drive a hard bargain.
Yeah.
But they maintain those strong relationships.
Yeah.
It's about finding that balance, between being assertive but building trust.
Right.
Because today's competitor, they could be tomorrow's client.
That is a good point. So it's
Yeah.
not just about being like a shark in a suit.
Right.
It's about being strategic. It's about building those relationships.
And knowing when to hold them, when to fold them, so to speak, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And speaking of strategy,
Yes.
one thing RoleCatcher really hammers home is the importance of understanding the shipping market.
Okay.
And I don't just mean today's prices.
Right. You mean like forecasting future trends, anticipating potential disruptions.
Exactly. Exactly. Because it's this complex system influenced by everything from global politics, economic forecasts,
Yeah.
weather patterns, you name it, even consumer trends.
Wow.
Remember that sudden surge in demand for electronics we saw a while back?
Oh, yeah.
Everyone wanted the latest gadget.
Right.
And suddenly there's a shortage of container ships to transport them all.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
That's the kind of situation a skilled shipbroker, they anticipate that.
Yeah.
They're constantly analyzing, global events, market data. They're looking for those ripples that could turn into waves.
Right.
They advise their clients on everything from risk management to potential opportunities.
Wow.
It's a lot.
It really is. So you've got to be like part economist, part political analyst, part logistics guru. It's a lot.
It is.
Is it any surprise that RoleCatcher says these experienced shipbrokers, especially the ones in those niche markets, they can earn well into the six figures?
Oh, yeah.
Some even hit seven figures with the right deals.
Yeah, it's high stakes, high reward.
It really is.
But even with all that human expertise, we've got to, address the elephant in the room.
Yeah.
Technology, it's changing how the game is played. And RoleCatcher, they dive into this too.
Okay, let's talk tech. What's caught your eye? Are we talking like self-captaining cargo ships, robot negotiators?
Not quite robots yet,
Okay.
but definitely moving in a more digital direction.
Okay.
Think specialized software, things that track vessel movements, cargo space prices,
Yeah. Right.
sales, all that stuff, all in real time.
Wow.
No more outdated spreadsheets or frantic phone calls when the market shifts unexpectedly.
Right. And in such a dynamic market, that's huge.
It's crucial.
What else? Are there platforms like for buyers and sellers to connect directly, like almost like a digital marketplace, but for shipping?
You're spot on. You're spot on.
Right.
These platforms are getting incredibly sophisticated.
Okay.
Think automated matching of ships and cargo, real-time bidding on shipping contracts.
Wow.
Even secure online payment systems, it's all there.
That really streamlines things, but there's got to be a balance, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we've talked about how vital those human connections are in this world.
Absolutely.
It can't just be all algorithms and ones and zeros, right?
No, and RoleCatcher agrees. They really highlight how even with all these advancements, those core interpersonal skills, they're still paramount.
It's that human touch. So you're not just a data whiz, you're a smooth talker who can close a deal.
Right.
But you're also someone who understands the value of a handshake, even if it's, a virtual one these days.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Right.
And speaking of skills,
Yes.
RoleCatcher, they get pretty specific about what you need to actually make it as a shipbroker. And unsurprisingly, analytical and problem-solving skills, top of the list.
Yeah, I mean, those come in handy no matter what you do,
Yeah.
but in a field with this many moving parts.
It's essential. It's essential.
Got it.
Like, imagine a cargo ship, it gets delayed because of a sudden storm.
Oh, wow.
A good shipbroker, they don't just panic. They assess the situation, crunch some numbers, come up with solutions.
Right, like finding alternative routes, renegotiating contracts, keeping all parties informed and on track.
Exactly. Thinking on your feet, being resourceful, finding those win-win solutions, even when things get complicated, which,
Which they always do.
they inevitably do in this line of work.
So you've got the analytical chops, the communication skills, a knack for negotiation. What advice does RoleCatcher give to like aspiring shipbrokers on actually breaking into this world?
Well, beyond the formal qualifications, like a maritime studies agree.
Yeah.
They really emphasize hands-on experience.
Okay.
They suggest internships, entry-level positions, maybe even volunteering with shipping companies or related organizations.
Okay, getting your hands dirty, so to speak.
Exactly.
All right.
And of course, we can't forget networking.
Right.
They can't emphasize this enough, attending industry events, joining professional associations, connecting with professionals online.
Sure.
It's all about building those relationships, showing your passion, and learning from the best.
Yeah, it sounds like a field where who you know is almost as important as what you know.
In a way, yeah, building a strong network, it can open doors, lead to mentorships, keep you informed about job openings that might not even be publicly advertised.
Right. So much of any career is about, building those relationships, being in the right place at the right time.
Absolutely.
And that brings us back to those AI tools that RoleCatcher kept mentioning.
Oh, right.
You said they can help you like stand out in the digital age, right?
Yeah. So we talked about how a strong online presence is key, especially on platforms like LinkedIn.
Sure.
RoleCatcher suggests, showcasing your knowledge, maybe sharing industry articles, writing blog posts, even participating in relevant online discussions.
So basically establishing yourself as a voice in the industry, someone who's paying attention, engaging with the latest trends.
Exactly. But they also offer these tools that leverage artificial intelligence
Okay.
to actually optimize your job applications.
Wow.
Things like analyzing job descriptions, suggesting ways to tailor your CV or your resume to perfectly match what those employers are looking for.
That's like having a secret weapon for your resume.
It really is.
So tell me more about these AI tools. What else can they do?
Well, they have this feature that helps you write more compelling cover letters
Okay.
by analyzing keywords and phrases that are commonly used in the industry.
So it's not just about sounding impressive, it's about speaking the specific language that these companies they're looking for.
Exactly.
Right.
And get this, they even have these AI-powered tools that help you practice your interview responses.
Oh,
You can record yourself answering common interview questions. The tool analyzes your delivery, your word choices, even gives you feedback on how to improve.
that's incredible. It's like having a personal interview coach in your pocket.
Exactly. It's about leveraging technology to present your best self throughout that whole job application process.
I'm starting to see why RoleCatcher is so gung-ho on these AI tools. They really do seem to be leveling the playing field for job seekers out there.
That's what they claim, anyway.
Right.
They believe these tools can democratize access to career opportunities, by providing everyone with the resources and support they need to really put their best foot forward.
I have to admit, I'm pretty impressed. I mean, it's one thing to talk about the importance of a digital footprint, right?
Yeah.
But it's another thing entirely to provide the tools that help people build and leverage that presence effectively.
I agree. It shows a real commitment to empowering job seekers, which I appreciate.
For sure.
But AI tools aside, RoleCatcher also provides some valuable insight into how companies are using technology to streamline their hiring process,
Like,
specifically through something called applicant tracking systems,
okay.
or ATS.
Ah, yes, ATS. I've heard the term, but honestly, I'm a bit fuzzy on the details. Can you break down how those work?
Sure. An ATS, it's basically like a digital gatekeeper
Okay.
for job applications.
Okay.
It helps employers manage that influx of resumes and applications they get,
Right.
often by scanning for keywords, relevant skills, specific qualifications, that kind of thing.
So instead of a human sifting through hundreds of resumes,
Yeah.
an algorithm is doing the initial screening.
Exactly. It helps streamline the process, make sure that only the most qualified candidates, they make it to the next stage.
Right, but here's where it gets tricky for job seekers.
Yeah.
RoleCatcher really stresses the importance of understanding how these systems work
Yes.
to make sure your application doesn't get lost in the digital shuffle.
Right.
So how can someone make sure their application gets past the ATS and into the hands of a real person?
Well, for starters, tailoring your resume and cover letter to each specific job description, it's essential.
Okay.
Use keywords from the job posting and make sure your skills and experience, they align with what the company's actually looking for.
It sounds like those AI tools we were talking about earlier
Mhm.
could really come in handy here.
Absolutely. They can analyze that job description, identify those key words and phrases that are most likely to get picked up by the ATS.
Wow.
So you have a much better chance of making it to that next round.
It's amazing how technology is like changing the game on both sides of the hiring process here.
It really is. But as much as, technology is transforming the industry, that human element, it's always going to be at the heart of shipbroking.
It seems like the key takeaway here is that the most successful shipbrokers will be the ones who can embrace technology as a tool
Yes.
to enhance their abilities, not replace them.
Exactly. It's about finding that synergy between, human expertise and that technological innovation.
Well said. So we've covered the skills, the tech, the importance of networking. What about the day-to-day life of a shipbroker? What does a typical day look like for someone in this role?
That's the million-dollar question, right? I mean, no 2 days are exactly alike in this job, are they?
Not in this line of work? No way.
Right.
A shipbroker might start their day, catching up on overnight market movements.
Okay.
Maybe there was a political development, a natural disaster. Who knows? Something that could impact those shipping routes.
You're checking news feeds, market reports, probably glued to your phone more often than not, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And then it's probably a flurry of emails, calls,
Right.
touching base with clients, confirming cargo details, maybe negotiating charter rates.
They might be working on multiple deals at once, each one at a different stage of completion.
It sounds like a juggling act, keeping all those balls in the air.
It can be. And then you've got those unexpected curveballs
Right.
that this industry is known for, right? A
Exactly.
ship might have technical difficulties, a port could get congested,
Yeah.
or a client might just have a sudden change of plans. It happens.
So you need to be adaptable, resourceful, maybe have a bit of a sixth sense for when things are about to go sideways.
Yeah, it's about staying calm under pressure, thinking strategically, and finding those creative solutions to keep those cargo ships moving.
Right. It's almost like you're the conductor of a global orchestra,
Yeah.
making sure all the instruments are in tune and playing together in harmony.
I love that analogy. That's a good one.
Right.
A successful shipbroker, they are a master of logistics, communication, diplomacy, all while navigating those, complexities of international trade
Right.
and the ever-changing tides of the global market. It's a lot.
It's making me rethink my career choices, I have to admit.
I hear that.
But seriously, this deep dive has been fascinating.
I has.
We've gone from, the high-pressure negotiations and million-dollar deals to the nitty-gritty of logistics and the impact of AI.
Right.
Is there anything we've missed? Any final thoughts for our listeners who might be considering a career in this exciting field?
I think we've covered a lot of ground here.
Yeah.
But one thing I'd emphasize, shipbroking at its heart,
Yeah.
it's about connecting people. It's about facilitating global trade. It's a people-driven business, even in the digital age.
That's a great point. It's easy to get caught up in, the technology and the market analysis and all that.
Yeah.
But ultimately, it's about building those relationships, understanding different cultures,
Absolutely.
and finding common ground to make those international deals happen.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And for those who thrive in that, that fast-paced, challenging, globally connected environment,
Yeah.
it can be an incredibly rewarding and fulfilling career path.
Well said.
Yeah.
I think we've given our listeners plenty to ponder as they navigate their own career journeys.
We did our best.
A huge thank you to you, our expert, for sharing your insights with us today.
Of course, my pleasure.
And to our listeners, thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the world of shipbroking.
Absolutely.
Until next time, fair winds and following seas.
I like that.